people, welcome back to the Blakeway Spirit channel. Hope you're all having a great 2024 so far. Today I am joined by ProneMMA. This is the this is the third video we've done, isn't it?
Yes, third video we've done together.
It is the third. How's your 2024 going so far?
It's been great. Yeah, I'm glad to be back and glad to be back on the channel. It's been great. And
Cool.
hopefully we have an exciting year. It's looking pretty good this year for fights, especially with that Francis Ngannou fight that I'm excited for too. So
Yes.
it's a good year. Yeah, great year.
Yeah, that just got announced, didn't it? The other day after Francis Ngannou going back to Saudi Arabia in boxing to fight Anthony Joshua. What a guy! What a guy!
Yes, great. That honestly, respect to him. He's been doing good things. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good
really
year.
good.
I can feel it.
For sure. Anyway, today we're not talking about the boxing or the heavyweight boxing in Saudi Arabia. We are going to be talking about the future, or, well, not necessarily future, but whether the champs are going to stick or twist in 2023. So what we're going to do, Prone, is I'm going to we're going to go through each champion, starting off from the men's, and then we'll go into the women's afterwards. And then we'll debate whether we think the current champion is going to stick. They're going to stay there by the end of 2024. By the end of 2024, whether they're going to the belt is going to change hands at the end. So I'm just going to start with the next UFC. To be honest with you, UFC 297 with Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis. Just because in terms of like, I'm thinking chronological order. Yeah, timeline. Sean Strickland against Dricus du Plessis. I'm seeing a lot of the MMA community not giving Sean Strickland a chance. You know, even though he just did that to Israel Adesanya, and it's like sort of the same thing. Like, there's no way he's going to do that again. So, do you think the middleweight belt, the 185 strap, is sticking with Sean Strickland by the end of 2024?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Do you not?
And no. And the reason why is because here's the thing. A lot of people will try to point to Dricus du Plessis' cardio, right, as one of the main things, but I don't really think he has bad cardio. I think he has pretty underrated cardio. To say that, and what I mean by that is people forget about how he looks when he's fighting, you know, the mouth breathing, the body posture. This guy, he goes round after round with hard shots. Every shot this guy throws, has ill intent when he throws these shots, right? And a lot of guys will say, you know, that's not technically how you're supposed to, you know, pace yourself, etc. But he can go for rounds. He's went rounds relentlessly with the same pace that he's had in the first. And for a guy like Sean Strickland, who really impressed me in the Izzy fight, really did impress me. Very good defensively. And he's very good on his back foot defensively. But offensively, on the back foot, I don't think that plays out. And that played out in the Pereira fight too, when he's on the back foot. Yeah. Someone can step in front of his face. Izzy's not really the type of guy to do that. Izzy's more of a, you know, step to the side. Fights. Yeah, exactly. Now, will he land some shots on du Plessis? For sure. Yeah, he's very good. But du Plessis has more power than Izzy. I don't think the wrestling's going to be too much of a factor for du Plessis. I don't think Sean has good takedown defense. Let's, you know, keep it at that. Not to say that Sean can't win the fight. He can. But I think that if Sean's counting on du Plessis to gas out in the first round, second round, I don't think it's going to work out too well for him.
Well, people forget with Dricus du Plessis as well, because I think they have that Darren Till fight in the back of their minds. Because obviously in that fight, he got caught quite often in that fight, and he was takedown after takedown. But he is actually a kickboxer. He's a kickboxer. Dricus du Plessis, like his base. So, I do completely agree with you about the whole like back foot thing. I actually saw a thread like that today on Twitter, showing that whenever five Sean Strickland's losses are against guys who put the pressure on him rather than the other way around, who are more physically imposing. And Dricus du Plessis, you know, he showed against Robert Whittaker that he's going to go on the front foot. So, in that fight, I think it's going to come down to who's going to step it, who's going to have the better footwork, who's going to stand in the middle of the octagon, of the octagon the best. So you think it's going to change? I'm going to looking at the rankings now. I'm probably leaning towards you. But if it's not Sean Strickland by the end of 2024, then do you think it will be Duplessis? Or do you think Izzy's gonna? I'm guessing Izzy would have come back by then,
Yeah.
and you would have assumed for a title, maybe a different title, maybe the 205 strap. But do you think it'll be DDP by the end of the year?
Um,
I know it's a long way,
I,
but
I think probably a good pick would probably be Hamzat if he gets a title opportunity next.
That's true.
Yeah, Hamzat probably. Depends though. I mean, I feel like Hamzat's has he earned a title shot? I feel like maybe he can probably slide.
No, he's got to have one more. He's number
You don't
9
think so?
at the. He's number 9 at the moment in the
Yeah,
middleweight. That you've got to have at least one more, I reckon, against a top guy.
Yeah.
Like maybe against a Cannoneer or something like that.
Yeah. Well, who would be next for Strickland or Duplessis after this fight anyway?
Surely if Dricus wins, and surely if Izzy comes back, I mean that would be a massive fight, wouldn't it? Izzy's return against Dricus Duplessis after the whole African.
I feel like Izzy would have to have another fight too to get back in that title spot.
No, I think he's he's too big of a star. I agree. I think he probably should, but I just think the UFC, the way they'll look at him, he's just because he's the biggest star. So I just think they'll just chuck him straight in there.
Yeah,
probably
so.
So
yeah, because Izzy's been on and off with the belt for a little bit, a little minute.
Yeah.
So
but
I think Duplessis probably by the end of the year, if not Hamzat.
Yeah,
that's what I
believe.
Yeah,
interesting. Right, going on then to UFC 298, Alexander Volkanovski defending his belt against Ilia Topuria. Now, Volkanovski had a very, he had quite a weird year, didn't he? Last year, obviously, he did beat Yair Rodriguez in the summer, fairly comfortably, but then he did lose to Makayev in. I mean, for me, that was a fight of the year contender. Not necessarily because it was like a barnstormer and there's blood everywhere, but just because the technical MMA was fantastic. And obviously, he lost against Makayev again. I think I might know where you're leaning towards, but do you think Volk the Great will be the 145 champion by the end of 2024?
I don't think so.
I knew you were gonna. But to be fair, I think that as well. I agree with you. I don't want to because I love Volk.
Yeah, I love Volk. Yes, but Volk has a problem, right? And the problem is he loves to. Here's the thing: a lot of guys, right? And this is the same for other sports as well. When you get to a certain point when you're ready to retire and all these things, your body is so used to the fighting season, doing something, right, that you're like, wait a minute, I don't fight anymore. The thing I've been doing for my entire life, I'm not doing. And this is happening to Volk, and he's still a fighter, right? When Volk has nothing to do and he's sitting at home watching TV, he wants to fight. He wants to book his fight as soon as possible. He booked a fight versus Makhachev on short notice. He got knocked out. Immediately books a fight afterwards. He needs time to recover. He needs time because you can't get knocked out and then immediately go back in the training camp and do these things. He needs time to recover because Topuria, who's a guy who has vicious knockout power, right? He's a very good boxer. He can knock you out. He has the power to knock you out. Your chin is average. It's good, but you have an average chin. It's not grand or anything, right? Volkanovski, he's an older gentleman too. Well, older relatively speaking too.
Well, for featherweight anyway.
Yeah, for featherweight, right? Like the statistics show that how many guys win and defend their titles at 30, 35, 36. It's not, the odds are not in his favor, especially versus a young guy. Topuria is 24 years old. Knockout power, very good. It doesn't look good on paper, right? Now, I'm not going to count Volkanovski out because, he's still a top contender. He's still one of the best in the world. But I think the combination of him just getting knocked out, back in the training camp and then facing a guy like Topuria, who is going to land some shots on him, I think he's going to get knocked out in the second round.
Wow, that is oh, you got a prediction and everything.
Yeah, I think second round KO for Topuria, I believe.
Obviously, I think a lot of people are leaning towards that just because, like you said, of how soon the turnaround is after he got knocked out by Islam. And obviously, has he ever been knocked out before?
Not professionally. I believe he got I believe he got TKO'd in like some amateur fights, but like amateur fight one time before, but not professionally in the UFC.
So then again, that's another thing as well you've got to think about is like, because that was quite a heavy knockout as well. Like you saw his head wobbling when that head kick landed. So it's like,
and the confidence too is a factor as well.
Yeah. But it's not. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could worry about that, but it was like a heavy knockout, but it wasn't like a Leon Edwards like against Usman kind of.
It wasn't out cold. It was
Yeah. But so I'm agreeing with you. I think it will change. And I'm guessing it'll probably stick with Ilia Topuria. I mean, I'm looking at the featherweight rankings now, and I really can't see anyone who I think can really trouble him.
No.
I mean, Yair Rodriguez, Holloway against him, that would be a fun fight. I think Topuria would beat Max though. I think he. Do you not think?
No. I don't think so.
Oh no, wow, okay.
Like here's the thing. Topuria can't knock Max out.
That's true, but he didn't knock Josh. He didn't knock Josh Emmett out.
Yeah, no. But Max has a really good chin, and styles make fights, right?
That's true.
Volkanovski's able to get knocked out. He just has pretty good defense. He's a better technical striker than Topuria, and he has wrestling, right? Topuria is not really going to be wrestling with Max, and if it's just a straight up striking battle, he's not going to be able to knock Max out. I think Max could beat it. It's a close fight though. It's hard to really call that.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so we're both saying that the featherweight belt will twist. So who do you think it will be in the hands of by the end of 24? Max.
Max is probably not getting a title shot this year, to be honest. He'd probably have to get a couple more wins. He's had a bunch over the years. I think he had 3 versus. No, he had 2 versus Volkanovski, which he lost. And then if Volkanovski is still champion, then he's definitely not getting one. So it might be Josh Emmett next or something of that sort.
So do you think it will stick with Ilia Topuria? Do you think Ilia Topuria will be the champ? Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards as well. Right. So the next one, UFC 299. Oh, this one. This one. Yeah. Sean O'Malley against Marlon Vera. Corey Sandhagen, I'm sure when this fight was announced, was pulling his hair out because he's thinking, what the hell do I have to do? The guy that he beat last year is now challenging for the title. I mean, when I was talking about UFC and the business and all that, I mean, that is proof in the pudding that they are just solely working on pay-per-view numbers at the moment. So obviously Sean O'Malley's the champion now. I don't know, have you seen that video of like him and that stream of neon? That was really weird. That was so weird.
Yeah, Sean's a weird character. Yeah.
It's so weird. But anyway, so the UFC bantamweight belt, do you think it is sticking with Sugar Sean or do you think it is changing?
Yeah, 100% Sean O'Malley's keeping that belt. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Cheeto. Listen, I don't know what. Listen, and I'm not judging. I don't know what he did to get that title shot. I don't know how he got that title shot. It's just
the hits. I think it's just because they've got a little bit of history. Sean O'Malley, they're really trying to make him into like a really big star. So it's like, it's that kind of thing I guess they're trying to do. I mean, I know we had Strickland against Adesanya last year, and Strickland was number 5, but a number 6 contender challenging for. Have you? Is that? I can't remember the last time that happened.
Strickland was a little bit different because Strickland was a backup fighter initially.
Yeah,
he was a backup fighter against Duplessis, so it was different.
So he's number 6. Number 6.
It's weird because like you have guys like hello Marab. Obviously this is the guy. This is the contender that is next, supposed to be next. Marab. He deserves it. He deserves it. Simply put, he deserves it. But in terms of if you're talking about pure competition, Cheeto does not deserve it. And I think we should all talk about the elephant in the room. The previous fight they had. Some people will say it's a fluke. I believe it's a fluke.
Against
where
Sterling?
Against Sean O'Malley.
Oh, right, I see.
Cheeto versus the previous fight, Cheeto versus Sean.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Cheeto kicked the leg of Sean. Well, he kind of hit the toe on the perennial nerve, which shuts down the leg, and Sean gets knocked out because of that. But it's a fluke, in my opinion. It's fighting and things happen of that nature. But did Cheeto do that on purpose? No. Could that happen again? No. Right. Was Sean winning that fight? Yes. So you can't really use that as a factor, or if you're going to judge this fight. I'm just judging this fight strictly based off their skill sets. What does Cheeto have to offer to Sean to defeat him? He's not a better striker. Sean O'Malley actually has underrated grappling. It's underrated, right? People don't talk about that. Great takedown defense. Aljamain Sterling, probably one of the best bantamweight grapplers of all time. And Sean O'Malley has decent power and a decent chin. Piotr Jan hit him with a big shot. Sean O'Malley survived, and Sean O'Malley has a dog in him. We saw that in the Piotr Jan fight. He can go to war. So, what does Cheeto Vera have to offer Sean as a threat, other than a chin?
Yeah, not a lot. Also, against the Sandhagen fight, and don't get me wrong, Corey Sandhagen is, and I mean, you were saying like, oh, Merab should be, and I do agree. I think it should have been Merab, but you could also argue that Sandhagen should have got the shot as well, or he should at least get the one after Merab. So, but in that fight, I mean, how old is Cheetah? Because he looked like in that fight, he looks a bit on the older side for me.
Cheeto is probably like 32.
Oh, he's only 31. Okay, I thought he was a bit older than that.
31, 32. Yeah.
Okay.
He looks a little, like you see the beard and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, Sandhagen took him apart in that fight. So I can't look anywhere past a Sean O'Malley win, and I think it's so tough. I mean, obviously, I think Merab would be a test because I know O'Malley, like you said, he's got underrated grappling, and he showed he had good takedown defense against Aljamain Sterling. But obviously, Merab, it's his cardio, his constant takedown efforts. No matter how many unsuccessful ones.
He's just like, it's like it's the Khabib strategy. You stuff one takedown, I'm gonna shoot 100. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but this is like Merab is like Khabib on steroids, though. Like,
it's tough because listen, he's a guy where he's so hungry for it. He wants it so bad that he's gonna keep pushing every single round deep. He's going to try to take you down. One of these takedowns are going to come through. It's inevitable. It's about how you can get up. Because Merab, like, you get tired of watching this guy try to go for takedown attempts.
Yeah. Well, just think about the other guy as well, who's constantly on the back foot, just like running backwards from him, Like, you get tired from that. So you think Sean O'Malley's going to be the champion by the end? I think so as well, because I think the UFC will do. You think it'll be Merab? He could, but I just don't know if the UFC will make that fight. I reckon it wouldn't surprise me if they do O'Malley versus Sandhagen next, just because I don't think they'd. Like I said, I think they're trying to big up Sean O'Malley a lot, and I don't think they're going to want him to be a champion for the while. So. I'm going to stick with Sean O'Malley. You're twisting, or you may be twisting. You think it could be Merab. But now, moving on to a few other weight classes that We don't know for certain. We just went through those three that were quickly that have been announced. So starting at the bottom, the flyweight, the flyweight division. Obviously, Alexandre Pantoja is the 125 champ at the moment, and he just recently beat Brandon Royval.
Yes.
I think, oh, this is a tough one.
Mm.
I think Twist. I think we're gonna have a new champion here. You know, Manel Cape. I know he's number 6 at the moment, but if I'm just thinking by the end of the year, perhaps Manel Cape. I think it's Cape. I think that's how you say the name. Amir Albazi as
Manel
well.
Cape, yeah.
Kai Car France, but he's also in there as well. I know he had that injury, but if he comes back from that, maybe I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, flyweight's tough. Flyweight
changes all the time there, doesn't it?
It changes all the time because it's so competitive, right?
Yeah.
Moreno is really good. Moreno is always changing belts. You know, Moreno is never consistent at keeping or defending his belt. I don't think he has one title defense. Moreno, Abazi, Kaikara France, Manel Cap. All these guys are really good. Manel Cap is I believe he's fighting he's fighting Nicolau.
That's right.
Contenders fight, I believe. It could be. So it's probably going to be. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So Pantoja and Cap. Yeah. So Pantoja and Manel Cap. I think Pantoja will defeat Manel Cap. To be honest, he's well rounded. He looked okay in the fight versus Brandon Morale. Wasn't his best performance, but
I always feel like about
Manel
Pantoja. Like Pantoja to me, he always looks shattered by the end. He like always looks like absolutely exhausted by the end. He's really weird to watch.
Yeah, he does, and he looked like that in the Revive fight where he was laying on top of him, or he was just kind of at the end there, right? But Manel Cap's really good. He's exciting to watch, and I like Manel Cap. I actually want him to beat Pantoja because he's exciting, and that's what the flyweight division needs, right? They need someone that's really exciting and brings, because I'm sure the last time we saw Manel Cap on the microphone, did you see that clip?
Yeah, against yes, I did see that. Yeah, what, when he was in the octagon?
Yeah. So you saw that, you know, the kind of viral clip of Manel Cap on the microphone. Where, he was saying some of his beliefs. But yeah, you know, nevertheless, it's entertaining, and I want to see him have a title. It would be great TV, honestly, and he does have a chance to. I just think Pantoja is really well-rounded, and I think it'll be a hard matchup for him. But these flyweights are, like, I'm not so confident because it's hard to predict flyweights a lot of the time. It's constantly changing, and their performances aren't really as consistent to what you would think would happen with some of the heavier weight divisions. But I do think Pantoja would probably be champion by the end of the year, if not Moreno.
Yeah, I think it'll change as well. I think it'll be either if it is to change, I think Albazi. I think he's one that could do it, and like, I mean, you said Manel Cap wouldn't do so good against Pantoja, but maybe Manel Cap could be the champion without even fighting Pantoja, if you know what I mean. Like, you could see something like that happen.
Yeah.
So,
if it changes around, it could.
Yeah, so I'm gonna twist as well, just because the history of that division is absolutely crazy.